to me, in my understanding of it, natural family planning, the church's perspective on welcoming children into your family, following God's plan for that, is just very consistent with that idea of respecting the wholeness of the individuals and the marriage. There's, there's the unitive element of human sexuality in marriage. There's the procreative element, and natural family planning does not exclude one or the other.
People typically tend, and I know I did, typically tend to think of the church as wanting to repress our sexuality, wanting to stifle our sexual expression, and wanting to somehow make us narrow and conform to an ideal that doesn't bring us happiness. And it's actually the opposite. The beauty of the theology of the body is it creates a vision of the beauty of sexuality, and the beauty of marriage, the beauty of relationship, and the beauty of our identity as male and female.
It was like a light in the darkness to know that what we felt and thought was actually good, and that there was a purpose for it.
Absolutely, especially in a college culture kind of surrounded by a cultural darkness. This was a bright, shining light, saying that, your sexual desires are good and they're intended for a purpose. And that purpose is within marriage, procreation, and it's a unitive act. And so these things are good, and they're not something to be ashamed of, but they're to be directed to a particular purpose.
I just find that we miss the opportunity to know ourselves better and to know our spouses better if we don't try this. And most of the time, the fear of it, the fact that there's also, yes, a higher incidence of pregnancy in people that have used NFP as opposed to contraception of any kind. But part of the reason why that is, it's not necessarily because the methods fail, it's because people choose to have children, and they're a little bit more open to life, they're more open to giving of themselves.
As people get used, they lose interest in sex. And as they lose interest in sex, it creates more marital problems. Sexual intimacy is meant to be a fulfillment, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. And when people feel used, they lose interest, they begin to emotionally and spiritually and physically separate from each other, and then there's this distance that's created.
Within the sacrament of marriage, I'm called to love you and to honor you.
You did.
And thank you. And to honor you in your totality, spirit and body. And practicing NFP and talking about, the signs that are going on and where we are in our fertility cycle, it definitely helps me to honor the sacredness of your body.
As people get an understanding of this teaching, their lives change. Their relationship with God changes, their family relationships change. There's a greater stability and understanding of sexuality, of marriage, of family life. And so I think it has impact in every way, and we see that impact growing.